People, and welcome to Prepare for Power New Moon Ignition. This is April 30th, 2022, and we are on the cusp of the actual moment of the new moon. And I'm broadcasting this so that you have the energy and the awareness of the new moon in the eternal now, so it doesn't matter when you receive this, that you can into the ever-present moment and access and maximize the power, the support, the way the universe, this great universe created by something greater than we can imagine, but that we can use for your highest and healthiest healing and for the upliftment of one and all. So let's take a moment just to breathe. 360-degree breathing, my favorite type of breathing. Oh, and your body loves this breathing, where although you're taking in through your nose into your lungs, you're sending prana, which is life force energy, which rides on oxygen molecules, down into your belly, into your feet, into your arms, up into your head, into your energy structure, into your thoughts. You're letting that life force that rides on the oxygen, which means it touches your skin too. So when I say 360-degree breathing, soak it in. Soak it in like a sponge, like you're a huge billow stoking a fire. Your body is, and that fire is your eternal nature and your awareness of your eternal nature. So I'm going to invite you just to come into a dignified position as you do this. You may be laying down, you may be standing up. If you're driving a car, make sure you keep your conscious awareness on the environment around you, or even pull over. And let yourself now prepare ye, like in the song Godspell. Prepare ye the way of the Lord. Prepare ye the way of the oneness. Prepare ye the way of the awakening. Prepare ye for power. Making sure your body is relaxed, your jaw is relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed, your pelvic floor isn't squeezed tightly, your feet are relaxed. If your hands are able, they're up like antennae to receive. This ritual is not an empty one. We don't do this by rote. We do this in the present moment. Our breath is the portal, is the wormhole into the time before time, into the timelessness, into the vast latent potential energy that we can revel in, rest in, get rejuvenated in, and then consciously access and direct into this time-space realm that we live in, that we inhabit for this fleeting moment in time. And let yourself just feel regenerated, more relaxed, the paradox of serene vibration, of peaceful aliveness. Whenever we come upon a true paradox, we come out of the world of duality, of this and that, and right and wrong, and yes and no, and me and you, and we inhabit the fulcrum of that seesaw, of the game of existence, the fulcrum being that which we are founded on, which created us, and which can bring us into harmony and balance. And if your body needs anything right now, listen to the messages of your body and respond. You might need to stretch. You might need to put your head way back and roll it around. I need to clear my throat and cough. Can you imagine that your body is so grateful for you to listen to it, to listen and respond, not react? If I was reacting to the need to clear my throat and cough, it might be something that goes like this. Jesus, Cindy, when are you going to go over that cough? You can't have a coughing spasm during a live stream. What will that say about you? What kind of healer has a cough? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. You should have had some cough suppressant beforehand. You shouldn't have opened the windows for the allergies. I mean, that is what the reacting, the old story of I suck or someone else, sucks and makes me suck. Well, that could be pleasurable, but you know what I mean about the bad kind of sucking. I just love when the mind digresses like that. So I don't know what I was saying because what I was going to do with the coughing. So instead of reacting, that I responded to it and just like, oh, you need this. I can easily give it to you and assign no meaning other than I'm in connection with you, cells of my body. Thank you for giving me those messages and I shall respond. And then creating a relationship with the cells of our body that are the giver and the receiver, the messenger and the one that receives the message. And there is this great symphony, this great orchestra of support. Our body's job is to serve the awakening of our soul in our human form. And it will mirror whatever we have in here. So the more that we can let go of those thoughts, those nasty stories of victim and villain and artificial savior, and come into the truth of this game that we play, all of the oneness playing a different role, and then make a stand on the truth within for that oneness and radiate that. Doesn't mean we have to take crap and, be abused and let systems of abuse continue. It means that we've chosen to access the maximum power to transform. We are advocating for the light rather than fighting the dark. That makes all the difference. That is what today is about. Today is the most powerful new moon of the year. It's the new moon in Taurus, the bull, just like bull energy, a bull energy to clear through old debris, to give us the will and perseverance to keep moving in alignment with our dreams, no matter what is happening around us. And like a bull in a china shop, maybe that's really old china that's already cracked and needs to be broken. And we can do this with the energy of the divine bull. The divine bull, or the archetype of the saboteur in the positive current, takes down those structures, those like Gollum, my precious structures that we think we need so that we can build something new. Something more sustainable, more harmonious, more vibrantly healthy and alive, more conducive to expansive prosperity plus. The reason why this is called the most powerful new moon of the year is because the full moon that it is building to is something that's celebrated called the Wesak Festival. And the Wesak Festival in Buddhism celebrates the birthday of Buddha. And it is an incredible time to imbibe in the truths, the capital T truths of Buddhism that transcend religious boundaries, the artificial religious boundaries that we humans put on things. This energy of the Buddha, of contemplation, of meditation, of oneness, of nirvana, of the truth that all suffering really is self-created. Although it is said that there is suffering in life, that suffering can be alleviated. And so there's many rituals and ceremonies that go along with the Wesak full moon coming in 2 weeks' time in the fleeting now of when this is being recorded. But whatever Buddha might mean to you in the positive current, in the negative current, you might have some clearing out of some limitation to do. That's okay. It'll help you do it. Everyone is evolving, by the way. Whether we're consciously aware of our evolution or the evolution of others, we are all expanding and moving forward. And it is a truth that if we can't see the evolution of someone else, it's because of our own limitations, not because someone else isn't growing. We are part of it in a universe that is expanding, and we have to go through in order to get to the other side. A lot of spiritual teachings will try to get you from A to Z, from human existence into the spiritual energy of the all-powerful instant creation. And I can tell you, I've done that for periods of time, and it can be done. But what that really does is say to the originating force that made this whole game of Earth, this game sucks and it's wrong. And I know better with my limited baby brain that can't even figure out how to make a flower from scratch, let alone to know how a black hole works or a quasar or really how a baby forms in utero, no matter what science says. I just, as I like to say, when I had my first child and all of my children, I just had sex and didn't die for 9 months. I didn't consciously do anything. There's a force greater than me operating in that. So however it is that you know that greater force right now coming in you, however it is you know the ability to access something deeper than yourself. And as I come to know from Buddhism, the intense, eternal compassion for the human experience that is founded on the notion that this form isn't permanent. I mean, have fun with it. I mean, that's the purpose of creation. Now, maybe some Buddhists wouldn't agree with me, but since I was a Buddhist for a while and still have that as part of my human lineage as Cindy James, I will say I believe that enjoying this realm, experiencing love and relationship is the whole purpose of creation. And once we understand that our human form is impermanent, not in some fearful death annihilation way, but like, here's this delicious meal, enjoy it. Don't wolf it down. Don't even bowl through it. Just enjoy it, savor it. See all the different aspects of it. Take it in visually, again, with the analogy of a beautiful meal. See the different colors, smell the different smells, use your fingers, feel the different textures, the taste on the different parts of your tongue, and how does it make you feel? When it not just comes into your mouth and down in, but how do you feel as your body assimilates these nutrients? I like to say that my happiest way of eating that I feel so joyful about is when my mouth, the taste buds in my conditioned mouth, the conditioned mind, or whatever aspect of my mind that is free, and the cells of my body all get a bonus infusion of creative life force energy so that I can go about this business of being Cindy, seeking to love and serve love and receive love in my life. And so that might take some doing. Sometimes it might be eating the food that my conditioned mind thinks is poopy caca, but I decide that, as I know to be true, that energy trumps form. Energy creates form, so I'll sprinkle green light all over it or whatever color light it is and just direct it to be assimilated to serve my highest and healthiest healing. Unless I'm in denial and I'm doing the kind of stuff where I'm doing that anyway with substance, alcohol, or food. I don't do drugs so well, God bless me. I smoked pot once and I lost 3 days of my life in college and realized that was a kaput thing for me. So, but when that all comes in harmony, I was made the most delicious breakfast this morning by the man I love and his daughter, my soon-to-be steppy daughters. We've decided that stepmother and stepdaughter sounds kind of like evil Cinderella kind of stuff. So, I mean, for right now, I'm the future steppy mother and my steppy children. I mean, how crazy great is that? And it was delicious eggs with fruit and a whole grain toast and a glass of wonderful pH balanced water. I mean, that was the trifecta win. So I believe that even starting the meal like that on this new moon day, new moon is a time when the earth and the sun and the moon are aligned in a way. I have to write it down because I cannot keep this in my brain. Here's the sun, here's the moon, and here's the earth. So the moon we cannot see unless it's reflecting the light of the sun. It has no light on its own. So when it's directly in between, we don't see the moon. It's called a new moon. And so what happens when there's a new moon? It's darker outside for sure. And we can see the stars and the planets way more clearly, or the comets that shoot across the sky. And in that time of more darkness, it's said that traditional farmers in ancient times, and perhaps now, I don't know that much about farming, but would plant the seeds for the harvest during a new moon because of that darkness. It'd be harder for the critters that want to feed on those seeds to go and take it out of the ground at nighttime when the farmer is not watching. So this is also a time for us to plant our seeds. When this is how I'm perceiving it, the naysaying voice in my own head or the naysayers of others won't have as much effect on burst in our bubble, pop in our balloon, raining on our parade, and all those other analogies that when we feel so full and good and someone with contempt or disbelief or doubt or even scorn, outright scorn says, "What? Are you crazy? What's wrong with you?" Or "That's stupid. Don't be silly. Don't be a fool." I want to tell you that makes me knucking futs. We believe the most unimaginable acts here on this planet that come from the negative current. Like there is shit going down on this planet right now that so offends my sensibilities and so many people. And the battle cry is, how could someone do that? I can't imagine doing that to a child or a group of people or to someone you love or to a spouse or whatever it might be, to an elder, to the environment. I can't believe it. How can people so disregard the earth? How can people do that? How can we do that with trash? How can we do that to our bodies? How could someone mutilate themselves? All these things are so unimaginable. And yet this gets so much airtime, and the rush of negative pleasure, which I say is like smoke in the pipe of negativity. It gets so much airtime. We'll believe in that kind of unimaginable to our sensibilities kind of crapola, heinous crapola. But we can have difficulty imagining that the sun and the moon and the earth align once every month. And sometimes in April, this is a double new moon month, which is called a black moon, which not just doubles the effect of the intense energy to have our intentions be seeded and grown in security and safety, but it exponentially increases it because there's not another new one, by the way, until December 2024, another black moon where there's two moons. And today is also the day of a solar eclipse, again, with less of the ostensible sunlight, so we can go deep within into the internal sight with our third eye or eternal eye, the one eye, the single eye, rather than just using our physical eyes to see ourselves as we really are, to see and feel what we long for at the depth of our soul, not just at the details of our human life that can have us ping-ponging all over the place. God bless the beta waves of our brain. I'm going to direct mine to simmer down right now so I can be in maximum relationship with you wherever you are in time and space and receiving this. Also giving you the direction that you are receiving this, whether your mind is following this or not. And in fact, if you're in la la land or come back from it, that might be the highest form of healing for you to integrate this wisdom. But this time of new moon intention, this time of imagination, why would we not so readily agree that this new moon time is more powerful than any other moment of the year to help support us in what we want? I tell you what, I know it to be true that if I was doing a live stream on what is a beautiful Saturday afternoon in April in Eastern United States, and I was talking about something heinous that I was witnessing and I had film footage of it, I imagined that in the present moment, this live stream would be way more attended and way more watched in the future. And this is not like a shame on you. It is a dynamic that humans have that's called shame of the higher self. And then I'm going to give, boys and girls and non all gender expressions and none, a little lesson on this universally human dynamic that happens to us that would have us more look at the car accident than the flowers on the side of the road. Or my brother Mike would say that have us start looking straight on the road so we can drive safe because we're in contract with other people to be in our best relationship and our best form when we're driving. So here's how it goes. As a story, take what you like and leave the rest. I know this to be true, and I know that everything I know to be true from a story level will always expand, so I know there's more. But this is what resonates with me and the teachings I've received that have helped me become someone who is still affected by the shame of my higher self. And grateful I have the highest light people in my life that love me and care for me and serve me to help me awaken from that, including the greater and the highest light forces of the heavens and the earth that come to me at my invitation all the time. But how this works is that when we incarnate, I like to say it's like a great Jeopardy game, and whatever personality attributes we get, we are talking to the greater, to our guardian angels, to our pod, our soul group, however you might know it. It's like, okay, I'm ready to go back in, ready to go back into this game. By the way, you don't have to believe in reincarnation with this. Just hear this as a story that you're seeing on TV that you would never believe anyway, but it might just bring you something. It might just open up a new idea for you that might not have anything to do with this, because when we hear something total, oh, pardon me for burping, totally new to our psyche, it opens up new thoughts and inspirations in so many ways. So for the sake of reincarnation argument, we're saying, okay, I'm ready to come down. And my life lesson in this lifetime, part of my life lesson is to work. I just saw that life lesson is to play in harmony with the cells of my body as the support team that these cells are for my highest and healthiest love and pleasure, and to give me the strength, the youth, the beauty, the purity, the love, and more that I need to dissolve the bindings and the delusion of lack and all the insidious pain it causes, to live a life that models for one and all what's possible, even though I too experienced and, well, might still experience and do at times experience some stuff that is painful and takes me to my knees. So I would have said, okay, what do I need for this lifetime? Well, I'll take a propensity to overweight and to get an asthmatic cough for 300. I'll take female in America. I'll take quick to anger, but I'm going to learn how to transform that. I'm going to take even more passion for living. I'm going to take huge longing to know the truth and the oneness. I'm going to take great hair because I really like hair. I think I have to transform that. I think the highest light creatures probably don't have hair. We might evolve out of that, but I still like my animal nature. I'm going to take all sorts of attributes. I'm going to take good and bad. There really aren't good and bad. They all serve. They all serve the awakening. And so I'm going to come down and I'm going to take this amnesia fluid. If you haven't seen the movie, chances are, with Robert Downey Jr. and Sybil Shepherd and Ryan O'Neal, I so highly recommend it. It's one of the movies that I can watch over and over and over again. Mary Stuart Masterson, I think that's her name, is in it too. Blonde. She was in Fried Green Tomatoes. That, I think, kind of describes like the amnesia fluid that you get. Because you imagine if you ever remembered all your past lives. Sweet Lord. I mean, I can't remember this lifetime. It'd be too much junk in my head. It is said, though, that you remember past lives in a way only when it would serve your current incarnation. And in my brand of crazy, yes, I've remembered some things, and it's helped me in how I'm serving this lifetime is to be as honest as I can with the vulnerability and weaknesses of my humanity, so that I don't live an artificial front, but I'm not going to diminish my greatness either in that. And I hope that I can model that this lifetime. So again, back to the origin story. Thank you for following the way my brain follows stories, if in fact you are following. But thanks for being me, because I love you unconditionally. Well, as unconditionally as a human can. Try. So when we forget that we're infinite, we come in with this great longing to experience in the seeming separateness, in the human flesh, this love that we experience with the divine instantly in the spirit realm, this love and relationship, and dissolve the boundaries between ourselves, not the healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries are something way different than we think we are. We're dissolving the force of separateness so that we can create and collaborate in harmony until we eventually merge back into the oneness. So when we come in, we're birthed into this world the way we're birthed, which, with our imperfect parents and all that kind of stuff, because they got positive and negative. And we're so seeking that unconditional love. It's the driving force of every human being. And we look to our parent figures or caregivers to give it to us. No human being is capable of doing that, unless you're a perfect master. Again, my disclaimer for that. No human being is capable of doing that. So this is what the child does with this. And I'll use the classic mother and father analogy, but it applies to mother and mother, father and father, grandparent and sibling. I mean, all sorts of dynamics. But I'm going to use the dynamic of two for this. So the child is going to have a parent that in the child's personality is just going to be more loving to them or more available to them, more as the child would think, this is the stuff I want. And the other parent is going to have less of that, what they want from their personality level. The child's going to assume they love them less. They don't give them what they want less, which doesn't equal love, by the way. It equals like, which is a whole different dynamic. And so the child is going to feel that greater kind of satisfaction coming from the parent that aligns more with what they want and what they think love is, from an energetic as well as later on a mental place. But that parent still isn't going to fulfill them because no one can. So it's not going to satisfy. So the child thinks that the more unavailable parent, in spiritual literature, it's also called the more rejecting parent, the more aloof parent, must have the secret juice that they're longing for. They must have that love, that unconditional divine love. And what the child does is turns more away from that loving parent and attends more getting the attention of the parent that might not even like the child as much, that might be snappy more with them, that might not have the capacity to give love freely for whatever karmic or personality reasons. And so the child then is in a double bind. By that child, me, you, everybody, just for argument's sake. What if that's true? And so the child then does something that causes the origin of all shame, and the shame of the higher self that would make us more likely to believe and delve into learning about the heinous acts of humans and what can be possible at the level of evil, then delve into the most amazing acts of human and the level of the divine. This is the game. And the divine made it. So well played, Lord. But we're getting your number right now, big guy or big gal or big it. We got it. So what the child does is turns then from the more loving parent and seeks more attention from the other loving parent and feels the guilt and shame of turning away from that love. Knows that there's something off with how that child just is like, okay, yeah, that's great, but I'm going to seek it from here. And since I want that parent so much, I think that if the power of being wanted is going to get me what I want, just like that parent who I want. I might not be explaining this so well. Let me see if I can take a deep breath. The child knows that that child wants that parent, and it must feel really good to be wanted like that. And so the child thinks, if I'm like that parent, I'm going to be wanted, and then I'll get that magic elixir too. So this is how, boys and girls and children, that if you are inhabiting the traits of the parent that you thought was the rat bastard when you're growing up and you can't imagine why, that's why, because you're seeking that power of being wanted. So you'll take more of that aloof or more of that self-sabotage or more of that rage or blow or more of that, whatever it is, that attack nature or abandoning or sadistic nature that your more rejecting parent had. I just want to take a moment just to have compassion for everyone that that identifies as a parent, because it is a difficult job. You're doing the best you can. Even if you're not, don't worry about your weakness. Creation, I love this quote, forgiveness of the created was embedded in the act of creation. I forgive you, you're forgiven. Let's just try and be kinder to ourselves and others. Okay, so go back to this. By the way the child's perceiving this might not even be true, because a lot of times the other parent might be the more loving parent. You just have no idea. This is, in law, there's this doctrine called, it's something like Renoir, well, not Renoir, the artist, like, well, it was a really cool word, but it's about like how the conflict of laws just goes so crazy that you go back and forth and you don't know which way is up. You might be feeling like this. It's okay. You can listen to this again. So then the child then has that guilt and shame of turning away from the more loving parent, and then knows at their core that they have then turned away from love and chosen the power to be wanted, to control other people attending to them. And that, my friends, causes such a deep-seated queen mum of all guilt, of all shame, that the child is turned away from love, where it's more readily accessible, and choose power dynamics of over and under, rather than the true power ability, which is to love and relationship. And you know, if shame at the higher self is working at you, if you have difficulty praying, nothing wrong with it. You don't have to have that pray. But if you get if you're just talking to a plant and saying, "Oh, I love you so much," that could be prayer. If you see someone else that is chanting or praying and you feel uncomfortable and you have scorn towards them, if you're listening to me talk about astrology, or when I call myself the Empress of Infinite Supply and Radiant Love of the Galactic Council of Women, all genders welcome, and you'd be like, oh, that's what happens. We then are so afraid of uncovering the shit nature underneath ourselves, which really isn't our core. We were seeking unconditional love. We just did it wrong, right church, wrong pew, that then we will ostracize others. I have said it to my face. I've said it behind my back. I've lost relationships that mattered to me because of my spiritual path, because of the way that I've gone to unleash my imagination and the sense of being bound to anyone's notion of what I should be, so I can fulfill my longing to love myself as I ought to be loved and loved in relationship. And you hear it. I mean, you've seen this in your family and friends dynamic. Can you believe what so-and-so's doing? I mean, there might be people saying this about me right now. Can you believe what Cindy's still doing? I don't get that. Or they love me so much and they're still going to talk to me and all of that, but they're just this sense of, she's way out there and I can't go. I can't go with her. I have great compassion for that. Nobody has to go with me. I would just like to share that the dynamic that keeps us limited, suppressed, so worshiping this world that we miss that we have the power that made this world and we can amend it and change it any way we like, just hurts us and hurts everyone and everything because we're one. Aw, silly rabbits. Loving rabbits. I don't even want to even diss rabbits because rabbits are wonderful wherever they are in this realm or beyond. We're sending lots of love. I want to let you all also know that at this fleeting moment, my niece Caitlin is giving birth to her daughter, has been pushing. The baby might be here yet. I don't check my phone in these things, but let's see. No text yet about that child. But I think, and I texted to my sister-in-law and the family, like, ooh, this baby's getting so much juice on this Wesak new moon. All right, dear people, I think that's enough of Cindy sharing for today. We are going to go into our ritual. It is so easy for rituals to become empty and by rote, and then we don't live them in the present moment. So I encourage me, as the facilitator, as the person that reaches into the eternal now, that is guided and has the great seeming job to call on the forces of the heavens and the earth, the highest life forces of the divine, God, Jesus, Buddha, Baba, science, nature, love, Goddess, universe, however it is you know, the greater, to call on that and to be with you and us, to keep this at the very highest amperage. Humanity is at a crossroads of the soul, and this crossroads of the soul depends on our ability to breathe into the eternal now, to access the energy there, and to unleash our imagination in service to the purest heart's desires of our being. And so we're going to go into step 1 of the 5-step prepare for power new moon process that is going to firmly augment and magnetize that which you seek, that will bring you maximum fulfillment, satisfaction, and will bring everyone and everything in harmony with the deepest truths of what we are. So step 1 is to let go of the past. Breathe into the attribute of bravery to let go and wipe the slate clean. You might want to have your eyes closed, looking at your ajna internally, which is your third eye. Well, not the third eye, but the ajna chakra. Letting your tongue rest loosely behind your teeth on your palate. Breathing in, imagining a circular breathing in through your nose. You can go out through your mouth or your nose. You can breathe 360 degrees. But as you let go, I'm going to guide you to something that was first, that was given to me, that I received from a woman named Sister Jenna of the Meditation Museum. Beautiful soul. I so highly recommend listening to her and the wisdom that she shares. And she guided the group at a visionary summit I was in to let go of our identity. So I will guide you right now to let go of your name. Let it just wash off of you. Let go of your age, washed off of you. Let go of your gender classification or any thoughts of gender at all, washed off you. Let go of your race, washed off you. Let go of your ethnicity, washed off you. Let go of any religious classifications or even spiritual names, washed off you. Let go of all of your roles, washed off you. Let go of the form of your body, washed off you, the spirit. Let go of your senses, washed off you. And that all that remains now is an orb of light, pulsating, expanding and contracting, pure light. And this light is going to grow and grow and grow until it's huge. Imagine it's the size, growing and growing and growing, of a huge field. Greater than any of these attributes of your identity. And what's going to happen now is this orb, this purified, magnified to your true nature, light being that you are, you're going to call back these aspects of your identity, and they're going to be immediately purified as they come into you. So first, call back the notion of the cells of your body, your form, and every system: endocrine, respiratory, cardiovascular, neurological, musculoskeletal, digestive, immune systems are all revitalized with pure health. Call back any gender classifications or none, the way you interface with gender, purified in the light of the truest service. Call back ethnicity, purified instantly. Call race, purified in line with the oneness instantly. Purify religious or spiritual delineations. Any darkness or limitations in any of these past ways of interfacing, purified instantly. As the orb of light just takes on multi-pure colors rather than any darkness or binding. Take in the roles that you inhabit, purified instantly in alignment with your deepest longing. Take your name back. Take your name back. All of them. Purify them, knowing there can be more. And then call back, magnetize into this eternal light that is now transforming in alignment with the truth of the past. Take the seeming past into the eternal now, and let all limiting perspectives and stories that do not align with compassion, understanding, wisdom, forgiveness, insight, enthusiasm, motivation, prosperity, love, faith, trust, and more. All of those stories of your past purified, only remaining stories of the light, of the wholeness, of the whole perspective, the whole compassionate perspective of your experience. And with this now, feel your body form as it just pure light. Slide now into step 2, which is to imagine your life unfolding, having unfolded in this present moment in pure alignment with what you long for. If you long to be vibrantly healthy, imagine what that would feel like. Pain-free, young, strong, flexible, energized, able to rest easily when it's time to rest, easily attracting the substances that not only nourish your body, that are grown and harvested and shared in a way on this planet that sustain Mother Earth and revitalize her. If you want to be in the romantic love of your dreams, how would that feel right now? To be in the arms of your lover, giving and receiving in full synchronicity and respect and reverence and expansive pleasure and awareness. If you long for the unlimited financial prosperity to live your life and serve to the fullest, how would you feel right now if you had gobs of money or squiggles, so I call them, just pouring in? Oh, take a deep breath into that freedom. If your friends and family, the relationships that you have with them were of the highest light and all past harshness, yours or others, because we all do it, is forgiven, how would it feel to be talking or getting together with them in this moment, or just knowing that they exist in your conscious orbit, that you belong? Let yourself feel belonging. And if you were able to magnetize relationships with the resources of this planet in the terms of opportunities, people, and the spirit energies that serve us here, if you were able to attract it instantly, how would you feel? I need a general contractor for my home. Poof. I need the most wonderful copywriter for my book. I need someone to help me with my accounting. I need a medical professional of the alternative world or the traditional world, or both or more, to help me serve my rapid physical healing. Poof. Imagine what it would feel like to be constantly delighted by how what you long for, need, and want in accordance with your deepest soul's awareness just instantly manifests, or manifests in the natural ripeness of the perfect timing. And breathing into this, slide into step 3, which is to write down these feelings. I'll guide you to do this in this present moment or after. If you have a red marker and yellow or gold paper, or gold marker with red, whatever the opposite is, God bless me. Those colors of red and gold, or red and yellow, in the pranic healing lineage, are the highest manifestation colors, traditionally associated with the root chakra and the solar plexus, the power to create in this realm. We take it from the higher colors, the higher vibrational colors, and bring it whoosh into this realm, into the sun that supports this earth, and to the blood that makes up our human beings, our human being. And phrase it as much as you can in the alchemical divine formula of I am. I am the creator embodied in human form. I am love personified. I am devoted to the compassionate awakening in me. I am devoted to serving the highest love and light. And in this energy right now, I'm going to not use my voice as you write it in your mind's eye, write it in the air, also writing with gold and red. You can do that in air or on physical form, knowing that after this, you can always add more. Write it down. I want to let you know and continue to write and be in this energy that according to different sources, the new moon was going to happen at 4:28 Eastern Standard Time. And another piece of information I said was 4:50 Eastern Standard Time. So this is when we've been healing the limiting notions of shame and doing this process. So we're having like the ovulation when the egg in a woman is released and the sperm comes and inseminates it. That's what we're doing with our active thought. We're inseminating this to grow as the full moon grows. And with this new moon, there's a bazillion eggs being released, and there's a bazillion times 2 spermies coming our way. I want to share with you what I wrote. And I do that. I share this for myself and for everyone that it resonates with. I am in constant conscious companionship with my higher self. I am reveling in my life arranging itself in perfect synchronicity with divine will and eternal love. I am clear of all lower vibrational energies that aren't mine to transform. And I am naturally and easily clearing and transforming any lower vibrational energies in my being. My body is strong, flexible, vibrantly healthy, beautiful, youthful, and ever flowing the pure energy needed for service, for creating higher vibrational ways of being, for experiencing true pleasure, ooh la la, and for reveling in the joy of knowing that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. My beautiful, radiant, living environments fully support my life's mission and purposes. I am in connection with, attracting, and easily flowing the vast resources and support of all the higher vibrational realms and the earth realm to support raising the vibrational capacity and health of our planetary Mother Earth and everyone and everything on it. I am basking in being in the state of ever-expanding love with the partner of my purest heart's whims. And I am profoundly thankful for the ever-growing loving relationships that we get to experience as we join our lives and our families. And for me personally, especially with my soon-to-be Steppy children and Steppy family. I am attracting and receiving and sharing all the financial prosperity plus that I long for to fulfill my mission, vision, life purposes, and my love-inspired desires in wholeness. I am grateful. I am happy. So be it, and so it is for me, you, and everyone. And now sliding into step 4, which is allow something greater to pour in, to flood in, to overwhelm you, to have its way with you right now through your crown chakra, through your being, like the greatest orgasmic waves of pleasure and movement and highest like clearing and revitalization. Let the greater support you. Let the sun and the moon and the earth align over these next 2 weeks or whenever you're receiving this in the eternal now. Travel back years in time. It is possible. And say yes to receiving. Let your ego feel like it might be destroyed, which is a healthy thing. I always tell my ego, not all of your ego will be destroyed. I mean, my ego helped have me have really curly hair today. It can help me with those things. But when it gets in the way and tells me that I'm terrible and there's no hope for me or hope for others, or it gets so involved in the problem-solving aspect, when we're in problem-solving mode, we're in problem-creating mode, it seems like blasphemy, but when we're in this purified state of being what we long for, problems whisk away like leaves in the evening of the fall in Camelot. So allow that. And in a lot of spiritual lineages, it's always helpful to say without harm to myself or others. Our mind might have an idea of how fast things should go, but it might blow our gaskets. And it might give whiplash, unnecessary whiplash to those we're in relationship with. So let the greater bring this to fruition without harm to myself or others. And then sliding into step 5, as the new moon has now reached its crescendo, which is actually its non-shendo, its greatest hidden sight from us, so that we can be in the vast canvas, the blank canvas of a moonless lit sky, a moonlit-less sky. And the 5th step is to have fun. Sweet Lord, have fun being you, have fun imagining it, have fun talking about it, have fun dissolving the shame of the higher self, have fun knowing, looking at the moon as it grows, that it's aligning for you, have fun looking at cool horoscopes online, gleaning what you can out of it. I'm not an astrologer, but I'm not dumb enough not to say that if my body moves in time with the moon and the tides, literally a woman ovulates and has her period in time with the moon and the tides, and when we get together, it's synchronized with the full moon. I am not going to belittle, or just because my baby dinosaur brain can't understand it with its analytical, supercritical mind, I'm not going to put that away. I mean, I don't know how flowers are made, but boy, do I love to smell a gardenia or night blooming jasmine, or a really fragrant rose, or white dahlia, or a chocolate chip cookie being baked, or the neck of a baby, or the cologne of a lover. Well, you know where my mind's at lately, and I think it's probably great. And as we have fun doing this, we offer this always. If every day you start your day offering your experiences for the highest and healthiest healing for yourself and others, end your day with that, oh boy, what will happen? So I offer this profound new moon energy in Taurus for my highest and healthiest healing, which is necessarily yours, which is necessarily everyone and everything, and offer all the excess energy that we have created here in the eternal now to flood to Mother Earth, so that the elements and the forces of the mother, the planetary mother, can be regenerated, is that a word? Revitalized, restored, revivified, healed. And like all mothers, like what do we want on Mother's Day? What do mothers want? I mostly wanted to walk in nature with my family, where everyone might have wanted to get along. That wasn't really what they wanted. But what most mothers want is for their children to be happy, for them to acknowledge where they came from for their own benefit, to take care of the environment around them that they've come from, for their own well-being and their grandchildren and children that come after, as well as the critters and the species and the plants and everything of this earth. Let your imagination talk to our planet right now. She needs that attention like the cells of our body. Our body is like micro and macro of the earth and the universe. Talk to her. She's strained right now. And she's so grateful for every time that we make a choice to honor, revere, and love our human form, make the best choices for it, forgive the choices that aren't the best, and to send to her what she needs to sustain us in our lifetime, in our spiritual journey as a human. I'm going to complete by chanting Om Mani Padme Hum. In my teachings, in my decades of receiving the highest light ancient teachings, Om Mani Padme Hum to me means hail to the jewel in the lotus. For me, it means great balance. It means masculine and feminine energy. It means the container and the rising seed that's been inseminated. It means all of creation and that lotus flower that can grow on even the muck, and we can rise like the phoenix king out of the ashes of what seemingly seemed destroyed, and build a joyful new life. I'm going to chant it 7 times, and then the 8th will be the bonus chant. So let yourself receive the vibrations of Sanskrit. Let the cells of your body and your mind entrain with balance, with wholeness, with power, with love, with knowledge, with wisdom, with truth, purity, love, beauty, and more. And prosperity plus. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 And choosing whether you want to stay in this space or bring yourself back to conscious awareness, I bid you adieu. Happy new moon. Love and blessings, dear wonderful, wonderful people. Mwah.